Ready?
All right,
I'm
welcome
ready.
back. Hey, you ready? Welcome back,
absolutely
Brickmaniacs, to another episode of Brickmania TV. Hey Brickmaniacs, we are filmed now in front of a live studio audience. Yes, there are literally dozens of us. So, as you can see, we have a very special lineup. Dan, what do we have here?
Well, we weren't going to say this, but it's Flashback Friday.
Gosh, we're going for it.
Flashback, no.
We're doing this?
No, we're not. So, what we have here is an entire display of Vietnam era M113 add-on packs.
Yeah.
So we have the M113, which came out a couple of months ago now, I think. A while back, we came out with the M113, which of course is the APC that was developed by the U.S. Army in the 1950s, deployed in the 60s, and is still in use today. But this week's is kind of special. It's a whole series of Vietnam War era add-on packs.
Yes.
So
all centered around this M113.
M113, yeah.
As you can see, we have it all lined up here. It's just bristling with guns.
Right, so each one of these things you're going to need to buy the M113 base kit.
So that's been out for a while, and we have restocked this week.
We just restocked it, right? So we have some in stock. So there's enough in stock to last, hopefully, throughout the day, and certainly enough, hopefully enough to match all the add-on packs. If you already bought one, of course, you're already in luck because these add-on packs will go with your M113. If you bought one of the older M113s, you may have to do a little bit of conversion. That's going to be kind of up on you, but all these come with instructions how to take the current M113 and upgrade it to whatever add-on pack you're trying to make here.
Which one would you like to start with?
Let's go left to right. And the left to right actually is an interesting one.
Yes.
It is the ACAV upgrade. So Armored Cavalry, Vietnam War. So they came up with this concept. Armored Cavalry, basically the same as, cavalry's job is to be the eyes and ears of the regular army. And to do that role, you have to basically be quick. You have to be able to be mobile, and you will be, outflanking, trying to surprise the enemy, get into their rear and disrupt everything. So one of the vehicles that they used was the M113 Armor Personnel Carrier. Started out with a in-field modified armor kit for it, and then they came up with this ACAV, Armored Cavalry kit, that was factory made back in the States and sent over to Vietnam for use in the field.
And this is just bristling with guns here.
Right, so what you get a turret, the main turret for the commander. They removed the commander's hatch, put a turret, and his M2HB was kind of upgraded with armored shield in the front, and he was given armor all around, so he wouldn't be so exposed sticking out there. And then they have two additional mounts I can show you here. These are M60, two M60 machine guns, and the guys would actually stand in this open hatch. They'd open this rooftop hatch. Let's see if I can pop this hatch open without knocking all the machine guns off. I'll have to.
Here's a secret. You just open it from the inside.
That's right. Push your
just
finger
like
in
in
there.
real life.
All right. So there we go. You have two guys standing in the hatch here. One guy manning each machine gun. Typically, the unit, each ACAV unit would be more than just the crew. So this is like a four-man crew. Basically, you have the driver, the commander, and you have guys in the back. Two of the guys in the back can command the M60s, or arming the M60s, manning the M60s, and you have other guys. And typically, you'll see them in the field sitting on top of the M113 rather than inside. Well, when you're like fighting a superior enemy with superior weaponry, you have to resort to mostly guerrilla tactics, which meant lots of landmines. And it's better to be on top of this when you encounter a landmine than inside of it. So more people died inside of these things than when they were riding on top. So you'd have all this infantry riding on top. Of course, if there was a firefight or something, they can jump down inside of it. Use it for limited armor or mobility, whatever they have to do.
How thick would the armor be on the side of these?
It's aluminum.
Aluminum armor.
So it wouldn't withstand the bullets from the M2HB, but it would the smaller weapons.
Sure.
So basically a rifle bullet.
Okay.
You get a limited protection. It's better than being standing out in the open.
Right.
And it's also better to be riding in a vehicle than slogging through the jungle on foot.
Right.
So, mobility, part of the cavalry. But
right. Yeah. Go ahead.
I just want to point out that right there, and this is made up to be the standard ACAV pack. There is a sticker sheet that actually has alternative stickers, so you actually get the cavalry flags. There's a little bit of documentation in the booklet that shows you what to do with the different configurations.
Did we use up the stickers on this sheet? For the,
we use stickers from the sheet, but there's a lot more.
Oh yeah.
So you have extra. So they like to use. They like to paint the gunner shield, the commander's shield. In fact, a lot of these you see pictures. They're all painted up all over. We didn't feel like doing graffiti for all the tanks.
So these things are just covered in whatever.
Right. So there was a lot of standardization, and then the troops in the field would obviously add their own. So we did put 5 different gunner shield art. These are all authentic, but we, research and pictures of actual armored cavalry units in Vietnam. And of course the flag, it's a difference. So if you don't have the crossed swords, typically you'd see this red and white cavalry.
The Polish flag?
Or Indonesian, if you flip it over. Right. So that comes with this. The obvious question is, well, where's the crew? So we did make a crew pack for this. And we're actually going to kind of do an unveiling of this, an opening.
Unboxing here.
Right, since this is the dedicated video. So
we all got them bagged up just so they're just kind of protected.
We did a crew pack. It just looks like this, but inside you have your 4 figures.
If you help me out unbag some
I will definitely help you.
Some awesome Ziploc bag opening up. All right.
We spare no expense.
This is the Grenadier. I think is what we're calling him.
Grenadier. I love that printed hat.
Yeah, this is kind of debuting this tiger stripe camouflage, which was pretty popular back then. Maybe the average grunts wouldn't have it, but they'd get a few pieces of maybe a hat or something. But
this must be the driver. Oops, I knocked him over.
And yeah, that's the driver. He's got his headset. And let me adjust this helmet a little bit. He's got his headset. You can see a little sunglasses, those aviators, dog tags. And it is hot out there in the jungle, so, and especially driving inside of a vehicle, I'm imagining that's not particularly comfortable. What do we got next? That is the commander.
It's the commander.
So he's sticking his head out and looking around. Some cool printing on the head of this guy. Oops, get that helmet off. So I got a headband printed on him. And they all feature updated boot artwork, which is kind of cool. So
fancy new boot artwork. We'll actually get to that in a minute.
Yes, and then we have our gunner, and he is featuring those really awesome period correct glasses, the BCGs, as they would call them.
What does BCG stand for?
Battle Cool Glasses, right?
Look it up.
Birth control goggles is what they refer to those as. And yeah, so that is a really awesome just variety there.
So yeah, I mean, this is kind of like the all-encompassing ACAV kit here. So you got 4 guys, and they're all 360 printed. These are premium figures.
Absolutely.
You pretty much get a premium upgrade kit. You get all the brick arms weapons, and the ammo chain, the stickers, everything you need to convert it. And one other thing I should point out is that there are the fenders have been removed from the M113. And that is actually, they did that in Vietnam because these things are cruising through the rice paddies and jungles. All that foliage and mud would get caked up inside of there, and then they'd have problems. Much easier to do maintenance on the track when it's exposed. So they did take that off. You can find almost no pictures of an ACAV armored cavalry M113 with its fenders on.
Interesting.
So we had to put the replacement pieces in there. So when you take your M113 apart to build the ACAV model, you actually have to remove the fenders.
Ah.
Yeah. Interesting note.
Extra pieces.
Interesting note. Do a lot of research. Do a lot of reading. So.
Yeah. So that's the ACAV version. Moving on to this next one, how about?
The next one, yeah. Actually, this is the Vulcan air defense system. So, at the beginning of the Vietnam War and during the 1950s, and even ever since World War II, there was the U.S. military was using pretty much the Bofors or 20mm anti-aircraft guns. So, like the Duster was sent over to Vietnam for air defense. That was actually on its way out. They were actually being phased out of the military when Vietnam War started. And the idea was to use this Vulcan cannon, which was developed it's a 20mm rotary cannon developed for aircraft. And they're like, this thing is great. It can shoot down anything. It's just the same sort of principles the World War II Quad 40 or Quad 50. Mm-hmm. And it has 20mm shells, high explosive shells, armor piercing shells, whatever you want to use. And they actually sent, this was part of a bigger anti-aircraft system. They sent 6, the first 6 made were sent to Vietnam as part of a Vulcan air defense team combat test. So 6 of these went to Vietnam during 1968. They were there for almost a year. Basically, they put them through their paces. and it proved, the weapon system proved indispensable. I mean, there's no aircraft to shoot down. So against ground targets, this thing, I mean,
right.
you could mow your way through a forest. Our friend Paul from the National Dusters Quads and Searchlights Association.
National Dusters Quads Searchlights Association.
NDQSA. He was telling us about a unit of our convoy was traveling across the countryside in Vietnam. It was ambushed, and the North Vietnamese or the Viet Cong had no idea about this Vulcan thing. So they ambushed the convoy, stopped it, and they basically waited for the enemy to come out of hiding, who was doing the ambushing, and then they just mowed them all down with one of these things. So it's pretty deadly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it obviously caught the ambushers off guard.
That's terrifying, right?
Right. So this thing basically spits out bullets, high explosive, armor piercing, whatever, pretty much as fast as you can load them in. Inside the vehicle, there's this huge ammo drum. It's the same as an airplane. So it would be crewed by 4. One thing that is kind of cool in here, when you make the gun go up and down, you have the radar.
So it was originally designed for aircraft, anti-aircraft.
Yeah, and it was sent to Vietnam as part of a combat test to see how effective it was, and it proved itself super effective. This M113 hull, this armored, the body that it's on, is so versatile. They're like, well, let's just put the anti-aircraft gun here. In fact, it was part of another system, anti-aircraft system, called the Chaparral, was the other half of that actually had Sidewinder missiles mounted on an M113 chassis. So they didn't need those in Vietnam, but they did send these over.
Right. So I see there's some additional modifications to this model.
There's a lot going on here. This is actually almost a complete rebuild from the M113. You have what looks like these side skirts on here. The ammunition for this gun and the gun itself is so heavy that they had to put extra flotation units on the side. So you have this swim vane in front is actually like 3 times bigger than the normal.
Yeah, it's also beefed up quite a bit.
Yeah, it's just basically hollow. It helps the vehicle stay afloat. Did put on different periscopes. The turret, of course, moves. Inside, let me pull this whole thing apart here. See if I can get it apart.
That is just cool in its own right.
Right, and there actually is a gun mount. It's like the M167 Vulcan. It's just the gun.
Oh,
they
interesting.
put it on a trailer. They could be towed. They had this thing called the Gamma Goat. It was a 6-wheeled articulated vehicle, way too complicated, way ahead of its time. Ended up being a piece of POS vehicle, but they ended up towing these things behind Humvees too. So you could basically put a Vulcan cannon, just about anywhere.
That's some insane firepower.
And Vulcan cannon's also the same as gun that's used on the Phalanx weapon system, that point defense weapon for like ships and things like that. So this gun is still in use today. Let's pull this roof off here. There are a few changes on the inside.
Yeah, so again, you have to start out with the base model M113. Just
you do, but there's been some changes. Cody kind of pushed the envelope with the M557, which I'll get to in a minute. Put a little hand controls for the levers for the driver, but I did put in the battery box, the fuel tank, moved the commander station. I did not put the proper ammo drum in here. Just thought we wouldn't even be able to see it if you're opening up all the hatches.
Sure.
But there is stuff going on the inside. You'd have to change it quite significantly in order to make this whole thing work. So just wanted to show off the inside. Oops, let me turn it around.
Let's get that turret back on this guy.
Turret back on. Easier said than done.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You're breaking it.
It's Lego. You can't break
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That's just.
Oh, yeah, we haven't even talked about that.
The cannon. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a little side note. No, it's a pretty major effort that we've been doing here. It's so this is a 3D printed gun barrels on the front of this.
It is.
Designed by Camera Guy, actually.
So yeah, it's a cool little barrel. So it is a Gatling gun. Of course, let me just put this aside because I'll deal with that later. It does spin. This is how the Gatling gun works. You have one chamber and 6 different barrels, and basically the barrels rotate.
Right.
So the gun doesn't overheat. This works just like the real thing.
And that rotates surprisingly smooth. I didn't realize that. That's cool.
Yeah.
And this is actually just is really showing off just some of the strengths of 3D printing. There's some interior detailing there. There's just no way that you can injection mold that.
Right. Like Will from Brick Arms was going to make these for us, and then he kind of decided it was beyond his capability
for injection molding, right?
To make it with this kind of precision.
So you can actually see through. I don't know if you can see through there. You can see the light kind of going through there.
He passed this on to us, and the camera guy did a fantastic job of modeling it.
It's got that really nice subtle taper between all the barrels kind of going down.
Yep. And
really
we are
captures it.
making more of these. So people are inevitably going to ask, are you going to make the barrel separately? Yes, the answer is yes. We will make it available as soon as we can get it together to print more.
Get it together, Dan. Come on. Sure.
The sticker pack does come with the insignia. So these are little Vulcan. The Vulcan system has its own insignia, as some of the military systems do, and you have the numbers 1 through 6, so you can make one or all 6 of the different Vietnam era Vulcans. Other thing that comes with there's a sticker sheet, so you can make the crew. We did not include the figures, so I had made these out of our own figures.
Example.
Yep. So Harry Potter here.
I was wondering if that came in the kit. I was like, does Harry Potter?
Yeah, Tony Stark. You can make the crew as you
Whoever
please.
you want. Tony Stark.
So yeah, you have to use your own figures.
Cool.
Make them. It does not come with the boots.
So that is an all new release as well. This
the
week.
boots, right?
Do you want to go into that? Yeah.
So we have jungle boots.
Check this out.
So this is kind of cool. This was kind of an unexpected add-on pack, but it was the one thing our Vietnam system was lacking. So before we had these M69, the flak jackets. But they look, your guys look kind of weird.
Now, check that out. You have an all-in-one complete soldier right there with the flak jacket. What gun is that? That is the new M16 Perfect Caliber that is also released this week.
Oh, another tie-in.
So much stuff. So that's cool. We have printing on that gun so we started out with a gunmetal. We darkened it up. We left the magazine a little bit, the regular gunmetal color. So the body of the gun is actually a bit darker. And then the furniture is straight black. So the buttstock and the foregrip.
So it's as an M16 should be.
Yes, so it's a really close representation of what it actually looked like. Nice job, Slam. So that's designed by Slam in-house here at Brickmania and printed in-house. It is.
That is one thing unique about Brickmania is that we don't farm out whenever possible.
Whenever possible, we keep it in-house.
Do it in-house, and of course we like working with our partners. But if there's just certain things that hey we can't we can't resist taking on these projects. That was the as much as we love Brick Arms, it was kind of like we were all chomping at the bit to get this Vulcan cannon.
Yes.
And when Will passed it on to us, we're like, all right, we're on it.
We're doing it.
and I think we did a good job.
Yeah, it looks sweet. So this is quite. We have one more thing left in this lineup.
One more. This is the final. The final.
Intense here.
Let's see what we have. This is what you get. I mean, this thing is full. This is packed. Vulcan air defense system.
Room here.
You get stickers, you get all the parts you need to do the change. The last one is the M557 command vehicle. This was actually designed by Cody. So it's built on my M113 base model, but Cody did the actual modding for this one. It works just the same as the original. Basically, so the M557 was a command version. You can't stand up in an M113, it's too low, so they built this one with a higher roof. They put an air conditioner on it, which is this unit right here, so they could have computers, all the electronics, communication.
For the computers, right?
Well, I think it's actually for the radios.
Oh yeah.
So, but as
I think I'd be hanging out in there if they had some AC.
They still use these today. Well, the interesting thing is that they actually make a tent add-on. So,
there we go.
So this is actually just a piece of it, and there'll be a big tent connected to it. You don't have to.
Is that tent also air conditioned then?
It must be.
Does that keep up with it?
Yeah, and then I've seen pictures of they'll take whole array of these things. They'll have like 5 or 6 in a row, and they'll connect all the tents together. And then some of them have huge antenna arrays on top.
That's really awesome.
So it's a very versatile vehicle. But it's a command vehicle. They use them as ambulances. They use them all kinds of things. But I'll take the roof off so you can see the inside. This too comes with its own sticker pack, and you can see that there's some maps and stuff on the work tables. Just like the other M113, the door opens, all the fun stuff. Swim vane works. Cody did do some more interior. There's like driver control, stuff like that. He did a little bit, added extra stuff. And of course, you have your stickers for your air conditioner. So this is probably the fanciest air conditioning unit we've ever made.
That actually is really cool.
So it's all stickers. The stickers versus printed parts. It's intended to keep the price down. These are add-on packs. They're not like major kits in their own right. And of course, it's designed so you're going to order like one of each. So that's like it's expensive or more. So more. Yeah, because that's why we have 6 numbers with the Vulcan, so you can make the whole entire combat team, Vulcan combat team.
That's cool. And if you combine them all, it makes some giant robot, right?
And there were hundreds
for
of
a giant air-conditioned tent.
Yeah, just Voltron. It makes Voltron.
Okay, That's it, right?
That is it. That is all the new releases.
Look at it. Let's
But
look at
you
all
have
mine.
to get this. So don't forget.
Don't forget.
M113. If you already have one, the last M1, the M113, I think it's an 800 number. We did a modern version.
Sure.
They should. They're very similar.
Close.
If you want to add these to your older M113, you can do it. You may have to change out 1 or 2 parts.
Nice. Do you want to get a shot of them all lined up here again?
This one looks like it took a hit.
Took a hit, direct hit.
Took a direct hit. We'll do it for the sit rep.
Aha, cool.
Put it back together.
All right. Wow, that is quite the Vietnam release here.
Yeah.
For the M113 and all these really awesome add-on packs. I guess for more information, make sure to check out Brickmania.com. Anything else, Dan? You got the last words?
No. Well, thanks for watching. A Flashback Friday episode of
Gosh.
Brickmania TV.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah? Wait, oh, you're okay.
Oh, like, comment, subscribe.
That's it. Ding the bell. Do we have to remind people to ding the bell every single time? Yeah,
Yes.
We're done. Yes.